Welcome back, Humble Traders. Today I'll be doing a technical breakdown on Snowflake, ticker symbol SNOW. If you're new to the channel, remember to take a second to give the video a like and subscribe for more charting and price manipulations. In return, I'll tell you guys a joke. What do snowmen eat for breakfast? Snowflakes. Okay, jokes aside, do note that I'm just a humble chartist and I do not provide any buy or sell calls. Instead, I focus on the potential traps laid out by the market makers. Always remember that the stock market is never obvious. It is designed to fool most of the people most of the time. So without further ado, let's take a look at Snowflake. So Snowflake just released its earnings just yesterday, and apparently yesterday post-market dropped 20%, and today's pre-market also dropped 20%. It's currently hovering around 207 and 208 prices. So if you were to ask me, did I expect this? I wouldn't be too surprised at the earnings because usually when just before the earnings, you just take a look at the trend. If the past few weeks or past few months, right, there has been a lot of selling going on, right, and the stock is on a downtrend, then usually it will indicate that the earnings are below expectations. Likewise, if we are trending upwards, just before the earnings, and we are trending upwards just before the earnings, then it would indicate that the earnings are good. So currently we are on a downtrend and it looks like the earnings are bad. Insiders have already sold beforehand. So the question now is it time to buy? If you look at current prices, it looks like we are going to get down to about 207, 208 prices. So that's around this level here. If you look at the previous supports back at early IPO days, just before 2021, you can see that there were some supports at about 207, 208 levels here. At the starting at 2021, you can see the IPO here, there was support here, and also there was a 207, 208 support here. So definitely this support is a pretty strong support at about 208, 207. So if we were to open at these levels later, we may see potentially a bounce. But is it really time to buy in? Personally, I don't think it is time just yet. We shouldn't go in just because this stock has a 20% correction. So we see similar stock drops like Facebook, Netflix, and PayPal. These stocks dropped 20%, and thereafter, next few 20 days, it did continue to slide further down. So if you ask me, $200 will definitely be a psychological support, but I sincerely believe that it will be broken because many people will be putting their stop losses, perhaps somewhere about 197, 198, these levels. And then if stop losses are being triggered and if the majority have cut their losses here, then potentially we may see a rebound. I wouldn't say we see a reversal so soon. But in the event that $200 psychological support does not hold, then I'm probably looking at about 180. You can see that this previous low here at about 183, 185 may potentially become support. So the market makers may intend to flush out these levels here. So if you are patient, more patient than the rest, you can potentially wait at about 140 to 160 levels. 140 to 160 levels is probably a lot safer as compared to entering at $200 levels. It's always good and wait for accumulation. You look at the MACD tells us the current momentum. You can see that the MACD has in fact cut below the orange line and is went below. So definitely later we will see further selling and more downside is expected in the upcoming sessions. If you look at the weekly MACD, you can see that the weekly MACD did try to turn, but because of the huge sell down later, there's upcoming when the market opens later, we may potentially see a very red histogram appearing, which means that sellers are still around, sellers are still in control. So long as the sellers are still in control, it's better to avoid the stock unless you start seeing green volume coming in like this. Currently now we have a lot of red volume. And just to give a recap, Snowflake has been on downtrend ever since it announced the earnings. It's dropped 20% in pre-market. If you were to ask me, $200 is a psychological support, but I wouldn't rush in just yet. I will wait for about 180 levels to see if there's any potential stop hunting. And if the majority of the retail have yet to cut at these levels, then I'm looking at about 160 to 140 levels at this area here. And hopefully by then the MACD starts to move up. And if there's any changes, I'll give you guys an update. Thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to subscribe as you'll keep the uptrend of the channel intact. Leave in the comment section below your thoughts on this particular stock, or if you have any other stock TA requests. Till we meet again, appreciate the manipulation.